Welcome to MasterCard and News 18 Network's Team Cashless India. So we are living in an era where we are adapting more and more to the online or the digital mode of payment. So we are here all together to talk more about that. So government's Digital Northeast Vision 2022 has been working relentlessly, have been working continuously towards leveraging technology to, transform the lives of the people and to enhance ease of living by ensuring inclusive and sustainable growth to all. And to intensify the government's or the state's efforts, MasterCard and News 18 Team Cashless India is rightly here in Guwahati, the commercial hub of Assam and also of Northeast that is in fact leading this change of digital payments, leading this change of cashless transactions. And here with the All Assam Restaurant Association and All Assam Hotel Association, they have been working together to bring about a change in this mode of payment, in the mindset of the people, to help bring more local restaurants and hotels into the digital economy. So today I have in this program with me a very high-powered panel that will discuss about the benefits, that will discuss about the advantages of going cashless and hopefully dispel the frequently heard misconceptions that are there going around, or they're there in the minds of the people about digital payments. So let me welcome my panelists here. And at the beginning, I would like to introduce Mr. Amitav Khanna, Vice President of Market Delivery International Markets, MasterCard. Welcome to the show. Also, I would like to welcome on the show Swapan Ghosh, Mr. Swapan Ghosh, Chief Operating Officer of SBI Payments. Welcome, sir. I would now like to welcome to the show Mr. Pabitra Margherita. He's the spokesperson of BJP. Would also like to introduce to you Mr. Sunil Saraf. He is the President, Hotel and Restaurant Association of Assam. Welcome to the show. Also would like to introduce to you Mr. Atul Rohkar. He is the President, All Assam Restaurant Association. And would also introduce to you Mr. Deborah Bormann. He is the Founder Director of J14 Food Joint Chain. So welcome you all to the show. And let me just start quickly with Mr. Amitav Khanna of MasterCard. Please tell us about the changes you have seen here, especially when you focus in Northeast India. What kind of changes have you seen? क्या आपने changes ground में देखे हैं? कितना, how far we have come when we talk about the digital modes of payment? We have, of course, seen a drastic change. But where do we stand? What do you see?
Now, I'm very proud to say that, this campaign was initiated a couple of years back. We have seen a phenomenal change in terms of how the payment ecosystem is changing. Today, if you have to make payment by mobile phone, by card, you don't have to explain to anybody कि क्या करना है. सबको पता है कि क्या करना है. अगर मुझे payment करना है तो मैं अपने wallet से या तो card निकालूंगा या अपना mobile phone निकालूंगा payment करने के लिए. Now that's a big change in itself. The thought process which merchants had in terms of कि मैं cash लूँ कि मैं card लूँ, I think वो भी थोड़ा, that doubt has also gone out a little bit, because the entire awareness which we have seen in terms of how a payment can be successful and if there are issues, मैं उसको कैसे sort out कर सकता हूँ, I think that has become much more easily understood by the merchants as well. The whole idea in terms of ensuring that merchants understand what is in for them, कि उनको digital payment क्यों लेना चाहिए, at least वो हो गया है. I think conversion in terms of making the shift from cash to card is something which needs to happen, and that's something which I see is in progress right now.
Okay, we'll come back to you again. So, Mr. Swapan Ghosh of SBI Payments. So, sir, I would like to ask you, as a government-run entity, well, SBI has been serving as a social mission. You have been into spreading awareness and all those things. So, including support of the Digital India initiative of the government to transform India into a more and more cashless society. What are some of the solutions that SBI is offering to reach out to the far-flung areas? We're talking, of course, about the cities, but what about the far-flung areas? So, what kind of initiatives has SBI taken on its part?
If you look at our base, we typically are concentrating our acquisition strategy around the smaller towns, which is helping the entire digital revolution, right? But having said that, on the product front, we have developed few of the very innovative products. Like we have our own merchant app, right, which is called as Yono Merchant app, where a smaller partner who doesn't want to pay huge amount of money installing a terminal and going online, right? But still want to accept cards, right? There's a feature available on his mobile phone with which he can accept digital transactions, right? So we believe that that's absolutely, it's called a soft POS, right? Where his phone actually becomes a POS.
Thank you. I'll come back to you again. So we have with us the state BJP spokesperson, Mr. Pavitra Margherita. আৰু মই তেখেতৰ পৰা সুধিবলৈ কিছু যত্ন কৰিম। Where do you see we stand today as a society? যদি আমি অসমৰ প্ৰেক্ষাপট চাওঁ, মই সামগ্ৰিক ৰূপে আপোনাক সুধিবলৈ বিচাৰিম। Where do you see where we stand today?
আমাৰ ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ অন্য প্ৰান্তৰ লগতে অসমতো ডিজিটাইজড আৰু ডিজিটেলাইজড যিটো বেংকিং ছিষ্টেম বা আমাৰ সকলো ক্ষেত্ৰত যিটো কেছলেছ ইকনমি আৰম্ভ হৈছে সেই কথাটো সকলোৱে দেখিছে আমি although I am a spokesperson of state BJP, as a citizen of India, I must take pride that this cashless system or this inclusive banking system started from the day when Honorable Prime Minister announced the Jan Dhan Yojana. In national scenario and in Assam also, the banking system has been changing because of the cooperation of the bankers, the common people and me then small merchants are also going for this cashless system. And just a couple of days ago, I was in Delhi, I was shuttling between terminus 2 to 3, then I was surprised to see that the conductor refused to take cash. He said that, no, I am going to take only card payment or something like that. So I was really surprised. So I feel that in no time, and this system will see in the rural nooks and corners of Assam as well. So I'm very much optimistic that Assam is going cashless like the other parts of the country.
In the few years to come, we'll see another big change. We are hopeful about that. Okay, thank you for your comments. So, Mr. Sunil Saraf, so I will come to you. As the president of the Hotel Association, are you trying to create awareness among the merchants, among the hotel owners, among the restaurant owners? How are you spreading that awareness that yes, it's a time that we should be going digital. We are here now to adapt the digital mode of payments.
We don't need to tell the hoteliers and the restaurant owners to accept payment in cards. We are doing that because it's very easy for them.
Okay.
There is no, it eliminates the irritation of getting the chutta. You have to make a payment of 949. From where will the person repay the 51 rupees and all that? So it eliminates all that. It enhances the credibility. People find it very convenient. But yes, here I would like to add one thing. With the advent of this payment through mobile, I'm talking about Google Pay, your Paytm and all. Now even smaller payments, people who are not carrying debit cards or credit cards, they are now able to make the payments at the restaurant, even for the takeaways, home deliveries, everything. So there has been a rapid digitalization of payment after the popularity of this payment, which in our state, I don't know, I'll stand corrected by the statement of these two gentlemen sitting next to me, but I have seen the machine, the POS machine in other states where they have this QR code in the machine itself, which also accepts all these payments, besides the debit card payment, the credit card payment. So that fills up the vacuum. Now the hotel is eligible, through that machine it's eligible or fully equipped to collect all kinds of payment, even from non-card holders who are having money in their savings account and all that. So we need to, make clear this point, whether in Assam this kind of machines have been introduced or not. Otherwise, let me assure everybody that in the hotel industry and also in the hospitality hotel industry, restaurant and hotel industry, card payment is the norm. I'm not talking about card payment only. Digital payment is the norm.
Thank you.
Very well said, sir. Right, completely agree. On that thing, what he spoke about QR acceptance on the POS itself,
On the POS
I must
itself.
add all our terminal, SBI payment terminal, across the country has this feature.
Okay.
Right? So what I'll do is, I'll send across my team to all the hotels in Guwahati and probably do a round of training, how to accept that piece of, acceptance, which is available currently.
Okay, thank you. I'll quickly I'll come back to you again. Auto locker, as a merchant, as somebody who is sitting in the chair of an owner, have you seen any change in the mindsets of the merchants with respect to accepting more and more digital payments?
মই ভাবোঁ যে আগৰ যি ব্যৱসায়িক যি আছিল আৰু ডিজিটেল হোৱাৰ পৰা ব্যৱসায়ৰ যিটো প্ৰক্ৰিয়া সেই প্ৰক্ৰিয়াটো বাঢ়ি গৈছে বেছিকৈ আৰু বিশেষকৈ কাষ্টমাৰ আৰু আমাৰ মাজত ট্ৰেনজেকশ্যনটো কি হৈছে বেছিকেলি ডিজিটেলিয়ে হৈছে আমাৰ যিমান চেল ডেইলি হয় তাৰ 70 to 80% ডিজিটেলি পে'মেণ্ট কৰা হয় আৰু তাৰ কাৰণে আমাৰ বেনিফিট তিনিটামান জেগাত হৈছে এক হ'ল আমি ষ্টাফ কমাই ৰাখিব পাৰিছোঁ আগতে বেংকত যাবৰ কাৰণে পইচাৰ কাৰণে আমি ষ্টাফ ৰাখিব লগা হৈছিল একাউণ্ট ছিষ্টেম এটা ৰাখিবৰ কাৰণে আমি আকৌ ষ্টাফ বঢ়াব লগা হৈছে একাউণ্টিঙতো আমি ষ্টাফ কমাব লগা পাৰিছোঁ যিহেতু আমি ডিজিটেলি কৰোঁ আমাৰ লগে লগে গোটেই বস্তুটো আপডেট হৈয়ে থাকে ছেকেণ্ড আমি আৰু এটা বস্তু আমাৰ ফালৰ পৰা সুবিধা হৈছে সেইটো হ'ল আমি সদায় বেংকত আগতে আমি চেঞ্জৰ কাৰণে সদায় ল'ৰা পঠাইছিলোঁ চেঞ্জ আনিব পঠাইছিলোঁ আৰু যিটো আমাৰ আজিকালি সেই প্ৰেছাৰটো কমি গ'ল ল'ৰা এটা দি লাইন পতাই পইচা লৈ অহাৰ যিটো প্ৰেছাৰ সেইটো আমাৰ কমিছে খালি ডিজিটেল পে'মেণ্ট হোৱাৰ পৰা এটা বস্তু আমাৰ এফেক্ট হৈছে সেইটো হ'ল যে আমি যি ইনগ্ৰিডিয়েণ্টছ আমি যি মাৰ্কেটিং কৰোঁ ভেজিটেবল মাৰ্কেটিং ফিজ বা চিকেন যিবিলাক আমি কৰোঁ তাত কোনো ডিজিটেল ফৰ্মত শ্বপিংটো নহয় এতিয়াও লেক আছে মই ভাবোঁ যে তেওঁলোকে গ্ৰাছৰুটত যদি কাম কৰিব বিচাৰিছে তেতিয়াহ'লে লোকেল মাৰ্কেট লোকেল ফিছ মাৰ্কেট চিকেন বা এনি পল্ট্ৰি মাৰ্কেটত ডিজিটেল ফৰ্ম কৰিলে মই ভাবোঁ আমাৰ হেল্প হয় কাৰণ যেতিয়া আমি 80% আমাৰ ৰেষ্টুৰেণ্টে ডিজিটেল ফৰ্মত পইচাটো লোৱা যায় মাৰ্কেট কৰিবৰ কাৰণে আমাৰ হাতত কেছ পইচাটো আমাৰ নাথাকে তেতিয়া আকৌ আমি বেংকলৈ যাব লগা আল্টিমেটলি এটা আমাৰ হেডেক থাকি যায় তো সেই এৰিয়াটো যদি বেংকে কভাৰ কৰে তেতিয়াহ'লে মই ভাবোঁ ৰেষ্টুৰেণ্টৰ বিজনেছবিলাক আৰু বেছিকৈ হেল্প হ'ব যিহেতু আমি কৈ আছোঁ যে
দুগৰাকীকৈ বিষয় আছে মই তেওঁলোকলৈ এই কথাখিনি নিশ্চয়কৈ সুধিবলৈ যত্ন কৰিম বাট মিষ্টাৰ খান্না he spoke about the vendors those vendors they are using more cash and when they have to go to the local shop they have to buy a fish or the certain vegetable they are mostly transactions are mostly made in the cash system so how can we ensure that every area is covered so your take on that
I was listening to him and I think it's a very valid point keeping in mind until unless the entire ecosystem change, only the frontline change will not impact the change which is looking forward to happen, basically. And I would say the whole idea of having those bank accounts, pushing the QR payments and digital payment would only be successful when the entire ecosystem or the life cycle changes. So I think the beginning needs to happen somewhere. I think the beginning which has happened now is on the front line. Today, the frontline merchants are accepting payments in digital way. I think the second way would be that when they make payments to their vendors, they would have to enforce that those payments also happen digitally. And subsequently, the chain will continue because
that would percolate to every section.
And I think the whole focus which the government is having right now in the MSME space would definitely enforce this change happens. So my view is I think there are many solutions which are available today by the card companies like MasterCard, where all the business payments can happen digitally. We are bringing those solutions in the market, and the idea would be that we make those payment solutions much more acceptable and have the entire ecosystem getting converted digital is what our view is, as simple as that.
Okay, thank you. So we have somebody from the BJP here, the BJP spokesperson. I would also like to ask you again that So, we are talking about going cashless. Youth or we are carrying less cash these days. So, when you go to a different location, so leave aside Guwahati. Guwahati etia lahe lahe bahut kini kholoni hoise. Bahut sari changes aa chuki hai Guwahati mein. Lekin tourists they would like to try out local cuisines, homestays at different places across Assam. So, how do you think that every merchant using those digital mode of payment, how to raise awareness more from the government points of view? What more needs to be done কি ক'ব বিচাৰিব সেইখিনি বিষয়ত যেতিয়া আমি ধৰক আমি কাজিৰঙালৈ গ'লো কোনোবা এখন দোকানত আমি খাবলৈ বিচাৰিলো বা তাত যদি ডিজিটেল মোড অফ পেমেন্ট নাথাকে নিশ্চয়কৈ বাহিৰৰ পৰা অহা টুৰিষ্টখিনি তেওঁলোকৰ কিছু অসুবিধাত পৰিব পাৰে so how do you see that
Government and banks are doing their own job very perfectly till this moment, I should say, as a citizen. And our society and platforms like this platform or the media and other stakeholders have to encourage the local vendors. It's not possible for government machineries to do only to make them more literate in terms of digital banking literacy. I think all the stakeholders have to go forward by hand. So I am optimistic. Then definitely, suppose you are talking about the Kaziranga or Manas or any rural area, the tourist places, the tourists should have got the facility of digital banking or this
Definitely.
cashless mode of payment.
Definitely.
But this is a culture actually. You have to encourage all the stakeholders
That
to
would help in
practice
attracting
it,
more and
yeah.
more tourists to the various places. Deborah Bormann is a success story. Apune, you are the owner of this food chain, J14. You have been running this food business for years now, probably 25
years.
25 years. So what is the difference that you saw when you moved digitally?
See, basically I'm a basically storyteller, and everybody will understood a story which happened to every one of us. How many of you have an experience when you buy something, in return they give you chocolates? How many of you have an experience? Everybody of us. So what comes into my mind, if I give someone on return some chocolates, and if he comes with 50 chocolates and asks me a baba roll from me, will I be able to give him a baba roll? If somebody takes an Otul Rocker, he's in a restaurant, 650 thali. If somebody brings 650 chocolates and give it to him and asks for a thali, will Otul Rocker gives him a thali?
That's the point.
The challenges comes in the time of demonetization. What happened? The problem, the obstacle that I have, my whole team has faced long back before demonetization. Till that time, we don't have POS machine, we don't have QR code, we are on cash base. Even then, there's a big struggle and big problem. That's that we need to get coins. And bank are not allowed to give us not more than 200 rupees. And we have to be in a queue, I myself with my 3 employees in front of RBI so that I can get a bucket of coin, bag of 1 rupee coin. Because I cannot lose my 20 pies when I sell a Coca-Cola bottle to someone else. That time the Coca-Cola bottle was 6 rupee 35 paisa, and I sell about 8 rupee or 9 rupees. In between, what happened? The chocolate story comes again. When the demonetization started, then I thought first, said, why not we start first our ATM or maybe POS machines? Half of my cash gone into my POS machine. Daily sales reports, when in the end of the day, the sales reports comes to us, and we just go through a review, said, my goodness. And it enhanced me or enhanced our company to grow more further, and then said that is my net worth. Now, whole this 2 year, what I have seen, my case become this much and my digital become this much.
Rightly said that. That brings me to the question to Mr. Ghosh that, see, he spoke about the safety and security. So how safe and secure are digital payments for small scale businesses, and how can they can protect themselves from cyber frauds? That is the question to you.
Okay, great question. Okay, all the POS transaction currently happens 100% on a PIN based. Right, so it used to happen that previously when if I would have lost my wallet, somebody else could easily misuse that wallet. But currently, since all the POS transactions are PIN based, so the risk on the merchant aspect, the chargeback, the dispute is completely zero. Right, the merchant is not at fault in case somebody does a fraud transaction with a PIN. Right, the liability shifts to the card member and the card issuing bank. Also, on the e-commerce world, it is even better. There's a terminology called as 2FA, two-factor authentication, right? Which is the next level of security, where when a customer is logging in and doing a transaction, right, he goes through 2 levels of checks before he actually does the transaction. So the chances a fraudster will do a fraud transaction is absolutely next to zero.
I had a question about the POS machine. So how can we ensure that more and more POS machines are being used at all the outlets? So how can we ensure that? What plans do you have, or
I think
what's your take on that?
The entire, I would say, the technology behind the POS machine is evolving. Earlier, we were only looking at only card payments to get accepted. We just heard that there is QR payment which is getting accepted now. The POS machine is not only utilized for accepting payment, but it's also being utilized in terms of as a cash register, inventory management. So, agar आपकी शॉप है और आपको अपना उसमें सामान क्या क्या रखा हुआ है, आपने उसको अपनी इन्वेंट्री मैनेज करनी है, you can utilize the POS machine for that as well. I mean, today your mobile, whatever you can do on your mobile can happen on your POS device. I mean, there's a very strong merger which is happening between various devices which are used in the market right now. And technology is making it possible. I think the whole idea now is that whenever a shopkeeper, a restaurant owner, or anybody who's looking forward to accept digital payment, they just need to look at what are their options. I mean, it's all available today. It's just that they have to choose the right option to ensure that everything is optimally used.
What problems can accepting these digital mode of payments or digital payments can solve for the businesses? And also, if you can throw some light about unlocking the business growth opportunities through the mobile phone, which we have, everybody has got a mobile phone, and choosing the right digital solution for the businesses, particularly if you throw some light on that.
When you create a digital footprint, you are creating a legacy for yourself in terms of expanding your business. Whenever you're looking forward to have a credit being made available to you, that digital footprint helps you to get better credit facility available to you. Today, and obviously most of the people present in this room are businessmen, they will know much more than I do. But when they are looking for credit, and they have to look at not banks but private creditors who lend them money, the rate of interest which comes to them is significantly high. Now, obviously, government has played a very important role again
That
in terms of
footprint is very important.
So getting the digital footprint will allow them to showcase what their income, what their earning has been all this while.
Okay.
Which could be an important criteria for banks to give them a credit. So
They can also take forward the business in
Absolutely.
in a better way.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Mr. Saraf, lastly, would like to ask you if your association, see, you are covering the entire hotel section of Guwahati or of Assam. So would you like to commit yourself to extend more support to News 18 MasterCard, Team Cashless India initiative, which you are, of course, running, and pledge to digitize all the association members, and not just in Guwahati, but across everyone?
Yes, yes.
Reluctant to
Yes,
how
sure.
do you plan that?
Thanks for this panel discussion. My final statement today would be, let me tell you, on a rough calculation, when I talk about the hotel industry, about 80 to 90% of the transactions are digital. And when I say digital, it doesn't mean through cards, but online transfers, IMPS, RTGS, NEFT, everything, all included, even the new segment, the Google Pay and all those. So it's digital. We see the roadside dhabas and all, they don't accept that. That mindset has yet to change completely. They accept cash. People pay cash, they also accept cash. Whereas it doesn't make any difference. If they accept the money in digital form also, it will not make any difference. But that mentality has to change. That mentality has to change. Okay. And for that, we, the hotel industry and the restaurant industry, can jointly, can create an awareness. We can make certain stickers where we can, which we can put on the counter near the reception to request people to make payments through digital forms. And we would be happy with that. And really, because it also eliminates, a certain kind of pilferage. The employees who's manning the counter there, he will not be able to do anything dubious. He will not be able to take money out from the cash if it is in digital form. So it's a win-win situation.
Okay, so I would lastly like to ask Mr. Atul Lokar, as an association, if you would like to commit or extend your support to News 18 MasterCard, Team Cashless India initiative, which we are of course running, and pledge, how do you like to pledge to digitize all the restaurants, not just in Guwahati, but yes, across all over Assam, just to bring in the positive change?
As an association, I try to definitely aware who have digitally involved business koratu bhal ami hodai camping kori aso aru further ami kori jam.
Okay, thank you.
Please give me a half minute. On behalf of the hotel industry of Assam, would like to express our gratitude and thankfulness to all the panels, especially the gentlemen from SBI and the MasterCard. It's been like you have heard us and we have heard you. So there has, it is going to bridge the gap, and we understand better now. And we definitely assure the program organizers that we would, come up with stickers and create awareness programs at our level so that more and more people become habituated of getting digitalized. Thank you.
Okay, with that, it's a wrap. ধন্যবাদ সকলোকে আমাৰ ইয়াতে উপস্থিত থকাৰ বাবে আৰু আমাক এইখিনি খুব সুন্দৰকৈ তেওঁলোকে খুব গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ কথা কৈছে সেইখিনি শুনাৰ বাবে. So with that, with those words, I would like to come to the end of the show. Well, we had a wonderful session here. And we rightly from how to use those digital payments to the security aspect, to the benefits, to the advantages, and how we can move forward, what are their plans. We have spoken about a lot of things, and also we have spoken from the government's point of view, what is the government's vision and what is the infrastructure aspect. So we have almost covered every aspect, and from the vendors to the big merchants, everyone is now slowly transforming, slowly transitioning from the cash payment mode to the cashless mode of payment. So yes, we have seen a paradigm shift, but yes, I think we are, as they rightly said, we are on the track. We have embarked on the journey. And we are going along, and we have come a long way, and I think we have some point to reach, a milestone to reach, but yes, we are on the right track. And yare hoite, I think ei onusthaner pora moi biday lom, kintu digital protect everything is now slowly transforming into the digital mode. So why not the payment system? And as they have spoken, as they have thrown light on the digital payment aspects, so I think hopefully everyone will be benefited, from the consumers to the stakeholders to the merchants, everybody. With that, it's a wrap. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for watching.